we're in a trust deficit right now. And what we're really hoping is that the spotlight can really come into this, and we can really understand the gravity of how much Iran threatens us. And then if that's true, why are we still pursuing deals with them in the Middle East?
Well, that was retired Brigadier General and Newsmax contributor Blaine Holt earlier this morning. Welcome back to Wake Up America. I'm Katrina Zish. Reaction continues this morning over the murder for hire charges against an Iranian operative still wanted by the FBI for attempting to have former National Security Advisor John Bolton assassinated. And now we're hearing also former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo.
We want to discuss this more, so joining us now for more is Vice Chair of the Center for American Security for America First Policy Institute and former Chief of Staff of the National Security Council, Fred Fleitz. Welcome back to Wake Up America. Fred, first, let's just get your reaction to this news because it's very shocking.
No, it really is. I remember before John Bolton started as National Security Advisor, I was talking to President Trump, and he said, look, I love John, but all he wants to do is bomb other countries, and he wants to bomb Iran. In fact, Bolton wrote an op-ed in 2015 that was titled, "To Stop Iran's Bomb, Bomb Iran." And I say this because the Iranians see Bolton as someone who has wanted regime change and has wanted to bomb their country for decades. So that's why he's at the top of the list, well, I mean, after President Trump, of U.S. officials who I'm afraid they would like to kill.
Fred, we have some sound from John Bolton yesterday. He was warning that more Americans could have been targeted. Let's take a listen.
I think it's quite correct to say many other Americans are in the targets of this regime. It tells you what the regime is. It tells you about its character.
Now, Fred, that was what you were just alluding to. Tell us more.
It gets more than that. It's not just current and former U.S. officials. In late July, a woman named Masih Alinejad, she's the woman who the Iranians tried to kidnap from her New York apartment in 2020. In late July, an Iranian showed up at her door and had an assault rifle in his car. This happened just last month. Meanwhile, we're trying to finish a deal with Iran that will give them $55 billion in additional revenue and $7 billion in cash. That's what this administration's doing.
Wow. Fred, do you think all of this is a reflection of a growing lack of respect for the United States or even a perception of weakness? I mean, we used to be the most feared superpower in the world.
I think the Iranians have really been emboldened by the weakness of this administration. The fact that they think they can basically get us to give away the store in these nuclear deals while they continue to stage assassination plots and kidnapping plots against Americans. It just shows that they know what they can get away with.
What do you think the reason was for leaking this information? Was it so that we could have a basis for when we go in and try to find this person and capture him? Or was it to tell Americans, hey, we need to be extremely careful. Iran cannot be trusted. They have, as you said, this long list of Americans that they want to assassinate.
Well, what's interesting is that the Biden administration knew about this plot against Bolton in late 2021. It tried not to say anything about it until the spring of 2021 to not interfere with the nuclear talks. But look, the government had to eventually issue an indictment. That's what happened yesterday of the Iranian responsible for this. What troubles me is that Jake Sullivan said there will be real consequences if an American official is killed by the Iranians. There should be consequences now for trying to kill an American. Are we going to wait till somebody's dead before we take action against Iran?
Yeah, it shouldn't come to that. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, and it's important to point out, Fred, that poor Safi is at large. He's not in custody. He's not in the country. So do you think we will be able to capture him? How would that happen? And then when we do, what should happen to him?
Well, he's going to be on a number of international lists. Interpol's going to have him on lists. We'll be trying to get him. Concerning the plot to kill Alinejad, 4 Iranians were actually arrested for that and are awaiting trial in New York right now. I'd like to know who these Iranians are and how are they getting into the country. I think the Biden administration needs to answer that question today.
So we also know poor Safi is a member of Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, which is a branch of their military over there. So how high up exactly does this threat run in the Iranian government? Is it possible that he wasn't acting alone in this?
Now, this was approved by the highest levels of the Iranian government, and I agree that there are many other targets, including Secretary of State Pompeo. I am certain there are Iranians who are gunning for President Trump. This is a terrorist state, and let's make no mistake, this guy was not operating on his own.
All right, Fred Fleitz, again, I like how you pointed out President Biden needs to figure out how these people are getting into the country, so we'll keep tabs on that. Really appreciate your insights.
Good to be here.
Thank you.
J.P. Morgan's CEO is warning that an economic hurricane is coming. Are you preparing? If you don't do anything, your 401k could be a 201k, and that is not good. So call our trusted friends at Lear Capital. For 25 years, Lear has helped investors own gold to protect against market chaos. It's a good thing. They can help you too. Get your information and up to $15,000 in bonus IRA gold. Just call this number, 800-880-4300. That's 800-880-4300.